Welcome back to a half-time report on CNBC-TV18. As of now, Nifty managing to hold on to 24,700, 0.5% of gain. Day's highest point is what the Nifty is trading at. But we have Rajneesh Narang, who is the Director of Finance at HPCL, joining in with us from the 21st Motilal Oswal Annual Global Investor Conference. Our discussion will be focused on the following points. One, has HPCL received its LPG compensation? The second point that we'll be discussing is what is the percentage of Russian oil is sourced currently from Russia is what we're watching out for, as well as an update on Barmer and Vizag project is what we'll be keeping an eye out on as well in terms of the discussion points. Hello, sir. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's start by talking about the first point, that is the LPG compensation. Now, the government has finally announced LPG compensation of overall 30,000 crore rupees. How much will HPCL actually receive the same, and has anything that has come in Q1 as well?
Yeah, good afternoon, viewers. As regard the LPG compensation, you are aware that government has announced a compensation of 30,000 crores. HPCL market share in LPG is around 27%, so we expect around 27% of this 30,000 crores, which would be coming to HPCL. Now, as regards the final details of the same, we are yet to get the letter from the ministry. So as of Q1, we have not considered any compensation in our accounts. As and when we get the letter from the ministry as regards the compensation, the same would be suitably accounted in the books of accounts.
Right. You know, the overall industry's under recoveries were close to around 41,300 crores. So we wanted to know what your overall under recovery has been, because the government has approved 30,000 crores. So going by the 27% that you're talking about, you should get closer to 10,000 crores. What have your under recoveries been, and would this 10,000 crore be enough to mitigate all those losses?
See, the under recovery for HPCL was around 11,000 crores, and out of 30,000, if I take the 27%, it would be around 8,000 odd crores, which HPCL would be getting it out of it. While it may not fully compensate the full under recoveries, but yes, to the extent of what the government has approved the compensation, we will get our legitimate share out of it.
Believe that there could be another package coming soon as well, or do you believe that this is just a one-time thing and you'll have to take a hit on the other under recovery that you have?
No, it ultimately depends. The under recovery depends upon the LPG prices. If you see over the past few months, the LPG under recoveries have come down, and even this current month, the LPG under recoveries have significantly come down. So it depends upon how the under recoveries fare over a period of time, and in case the need be, then definitely we will seek compensation from the government in future.
So how much are you anticipating LPG under recoveries to be for the entire year, Mr. Rajneesh? Any kind of visibility that you might have now?
No, it keeps on changing with the change in the LPG prices for butane and propane. Now, if I see the current year, in the current month, the under recovery is less than 50 rupees per cylinder. So it depends how the prices will fare in the near future, and the same would be accordingly calculated. Last year we had around 11,000 crore. The first quarter was around 2,000 odd crore. So it will keep on varying depending upon the prices of these two products here.
Okay, fair enough. Just give us a sense in terms of the Russian crude oil imports. Overall for India, the Russian crude oil imports stand at around 34-35%. What is it for HPCL? And give us a sense in terms of the price differential between Russian crude and other crude.
See, as regards the sourcing of Russian crude is concerned, Russian crude has always been in our crude basket. It's not that we started purchasing Russian crude only after the Ukraine war. Primarily, the sourcing of the crude is decided, it's an economic decision which is in which we run through an LP model, and whichever crude gives us the maximum value is what gets sourced out. Now, last year we had processed almost 32-35% of Russian crude. The first quarter we had taken around 13%. So depending upon the crude prices which are prevailing, we source the crude, and that's what makes the difference to us as regards the product worth of crude, product worth. What we get out of the crude is the decisive factor as regards the sourcing is concerned.
Mr. Narang, if you could just talk to us even about your marketing margins. Right now, given that crude has remained below that $70 per barrel approximately for this quarter, what are we expecting in terms of margins there? Also, in terms of any possibility of fuel cut is something that we could watch out for. Fuel prices cut.
See, the last government had increased the excise duty on the motor fuels, that is MS and HSD, that was in April, and there was no change as regards the end prices to the retailers are concerned. And more or less the prices have remained range bound, except a few occasions when because of geopolitical tensions, the crude prices and the product prices had gone up and down. So we expect that the prices would remain in these range only, and accordingly the prices have been priced in the market. The product prices have been accordingly priced in the market.
Right. Just to go back to the Russian crude point, you said 13% was sourced in the first quarter. How much more profitable is Russian crude versus others? We just want to understand what the possible hit could be were the government to decide on lowering purchase of crude from Russia. We're just trying to hypothecate a situation out here, largely because that's what brokerages are expecting as well.
No, there was a time when there used to be significant discount as regards the Russian crude is concerned. Later on, as the discount levels came down, and we keep on evaluating the options with respect to the various alternate crude. And as I said earlier, it's an economic decision, and a crude which gives us the maximum value is what we source, and accordingly the sourcing decision is taken. So it varies upon what is the discount and what is the product worth which we extract out of the crude, which is the decisive factor. So to clearly give you an indication as to what the differential may not be the right parameter of it.
Okay, all right, Mr. Rajneesh, thanks very much for joining in and speaking with us. So that's HPCL talking about the under-recoveries. Yes, there's a total LPG compensation of around 38,000 odd crores, and HPCL has received around 8,000 crores from that. We need to take a short break, but on the other side, we'll get you a lot more stocks which are buzzing. Stay tuned.